keep running into people who they can't do anything with what they've purportedly learned, and that's a great shame. Because when you start from the inside with this stuff, and you do, like for example, some of you may have heard me say this before, the very best way that you can learn the meta model and the Milton model and how the language patterns work is by taking them systematically, one step at a time, and turning them internal. So applying them to your own thinking, to your own issues and challenges and problems and things that come up. And it's very, very simple. You know, if we start with, you know, we have the patterns organized so that there are some that are outside a person's map or model and some that are inside. They point either to what is inside the map, what must be there, what is inferred from what is said, and then those things that are absent, what's outside. So, in terms of how we organize the meta model and work with it here, the top level, the mind reading question. When Bandler and Grinder first created it, they called it mind reading because they were pointing to those circumstances when people were saying things like, I know you must think this, or I know you must feel that. In other words, imagining or stating something about another person without actually stating how they know. But it's actually bigger and deeper than that. It's any claim to knowledge. Any claim to knowledge is mind reading. It just happens to be your own mind reading. Yeah? How do you know what you know? That basic epistemological question. Whenever you ask, how do you know? We go inside. And we seek out specifically what's in there that causes or forces us to draw that as a conclusion. On the other side, we have the pattern that's called loss performative. It's far more important than the name. What the loss performative is the loss performative is where did you get that thought from? What is its source? Why is this important? Because as we go through the world and as we have our experience, our brain is editing, taking stuff out. Basically, it's a very efficient mechanism. And once you've accepted something as having happened, and then being the way it is, brain starts editing stuff like, when did I pick this up? When did I decide it? What process did I have to go through in order to do it? Who was involved in that? Did I buy it from someone? Did I get it from this, that, or the other place? It just becomes a reality, a free-floating reality, but not one that's grounded to time, place, and circumstance. When we're seeking the source for a thought, it's typically outside of someone's map or model. What's important about this is that if you systematically apply just these are just the two patterns that are at the top of the meta model on either side, inside and outside, what will happen is you will start to discover something about how your mind works. And basically what that is it's that most of the things that you think are so, you bought from somewhere. You picked up from somewhere. They actually aren't yours. You agreed to them. You accepted them. You went along with them. You took the repetition, whether it was from parents, whether it was at school, whether it was from the media or whatever, as if it was reality. So with the loss performative question, which is, what's the loss performative question, basic form?
Where did you get that from?
Yeah, where did you get that from? Who did you get that from?
Who says?
Who says? When did you start thinking that? Using some presuppositions around time. That's also seeking the loss performative, the source. Looking to reconnect where and when, the circumstance within which you started thinking something. Yeah? How do you know? Points down into the model, which is what are you paying attention to? What are you enforcing your attention on? The other one is when did you start thinking that way? What was the context? Just those two, if you will internalize them and apply them to your own thinking, will clear up an awful lot of what it is you think is wrong with you. Reason why is because you'll get that you're not actually thinking, but you're accepting an awful lot of stuff that isn't yours, never was, never could be. It's like magic.